Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. I'm Berney Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons, here to help you sort through the chaos and keep it real for America. So, if you're into protecting freedom and giving bad policy a well-deserved roast, well then hit that like button and that share button and that subscribe button. Now, our good friend, Dr. Brenda Thiam, is running for Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, along with our other good friend, Governor candidate, John Myrick. Brenda is a Republican politician, an educator, and a historic figure in Maryland politics. She was born in 1969. She is a wife and a mom, and she lives in Hagerstown, where she made history in 2020 as the very first Black woman to serve in Maryland's General Assembly. As a Republican, Brenda holds a Ph.D. and has a background as an educator, and she's emphasized in her public service that she is a fighter and an educator and a wife and a mom, and she's focused on community-oriented leadership. On the 1st of May, again, my friend John Myrick, the Republican candidate for Maryland's governor, announced Brenda as his running mate for the 2026 election, making her part of the first officially filed gubernatorial ticket in the state for the 2026 cycle. Her selection highlights her trailblazing role as a Black Republican and her commitment to addressing state issues, as noted in her public appearances and campaign activities. Brenda, how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, Berney. How are you, my brother?
I am always happy when you're around.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I am as happy as you are.
We got a lot to
No,
talk
we're
about.
literally like almost brother and sister, right? You need to let your people know that.
Well, people don't understand that we are born and raised 12 miles away from each other back in rural North Carolina.
Yeah,
And that is so cool. And we call each other brother and sis when we see each other.
that's
So
right.
that's our little secret that, you're a bomb and a half right now.
Well, I'm trying to be two bombs, but I don't want to be too overzealous.
There you go. Well, I'm voting for you. I tell you right now, you and John.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank
But
you. And
I was reading the Wall Street Journal this morning, as I am apt to do, and I noticed an article about Governor Wes Moore, and I thought you might be interested in discussing it. So,
okay, what you got?
well, here's the thing. Black Democrats thought that Wes Moore was going to support reparations through his fancy words that he always says. He's one of those slicksters, you might say. He always says that he would support the study of reparations, and that gave people the impression that he would support them. But words are fancy. And once again, Black folks have been played by the Democrats. But I got a few questions for you as the Lieutenant Governor candidate. So, why do you think Governor Wes Moore, as Maryland's very first Black governor, chose to veto a bill creating a reparations study commission, despite pressure from the legislative Black Caucus in Maryland and other Black activists?
Are we keeping it real,
We're
Bernie?
keeping it real.
Keep it real with each other. I think this is purely political shenanigans, is what I like to call it. It's political shenanigans, fancy footwork.
Oh,
I believe the governor has political aspirations and either maybe running for the president or running for being chosen as a vice presidential candidate. And he has to appear to be in the middle of the road. Can't be too far left with the progressives, with supporting reparations. So he has to appeal like he's a moderate Democrat. I mean, reparations, this topic has been going on for many, many years. Politicians pushing that needle for reparations for Black people. So I think this is just all a political theater. I think he has bigger fish to fry beyond governor, and he wants to appear like he's a moderate candidate or a politician.
You hear me
With that.
laughing, and I see right through him. I, you know, I trust him about as far as I can throw this house.
Which isn't far. You're a big guy, but I
I ain't
don't.
that big,
You're a
but
tall guy.
well, bottom line is he is something else, and I'm taking over the spotlight here. You are the candidate, and I should let you talk. I got more questions for you.
Sure, sure,
People
sure.
want to hear about you. How does Governor Moore's decision to focus on the work itself rather than the further reparations studies reflect a shift in the Democratic Party strategy, especially in the light of waning public support for race-based policies like affirmative action?
Right. I mean, I think most of us who are, political savvy, remember when the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action because it really plays to the race of a person, which no one can change, but based on applying to colleges and universities, your race can take precedence over decisions that that institution makes as far as accepting applicants. So when you look at what Governor Moore has stated as far as the work itself, if I remember those words exactly, and
That's
not
what he said.
supporting, yep, vetoing this reparations bill, I think we better stay tuned because the devil is going to be in the details. I think he is going to push a very progressive policy with regard to the boots on the ground about reparations. I think he's done with the conversation as far as talking about reparations. And I believe he's going to push some very aggressive policies next year. And we better stay tuned because I think it's going to be a very interesting session next year.
I wonder how he's going to pay for it, but that's another issue
Yeah,
for another
considering
time with our
yes,
lowered bond rating.
yes, yes. Where
Hmm.
money from to push forth these policies that I know probably going to be very, very aggressive, progressive, however you want to label it. But if I may add my 2 cents, if you don't mind, when we look at developing policy, we have to look at though races, we people come in all races and colors and whatnot. But when we allow race to take precedence of the policies that we drive forward, we can negate other races of people. If we're always concentrating on, say, the Asian community, then what about the Black community or the white community? If we focus on the Black community, then what about the Asian community and the Hispanic community? If we just make good policy that's not going to harm the greater good of the public and just focus on good policy development, I think we can cast a bigger net and everyone can be supported in Maryland. But when we start focusing on a group of people, now that's discrimination.
It is.
You're focusing on one race of people and you're not thinking about another race of people, or you're excluding them in your policies. To me, that is black and white, pun intended, discrimination.
Where we're from, they say two wrongs don't make a right.
Absolutely, it does not.
That's the bottom line.
Hmm.
So I got more questions for you, though.
Sure.
So my little Wall Street Journal article suggests that reparations are a form of affirmative action, which has not significantly reduced racial disparities over the past 50 years. So what are your thoughts on why these policies have fallen short and what alternative approaches might be better used to address systemic equalities?
When we put too much responsibility, for lack of a better word, put too much responsibility on the government to take care of its people, that doesn't lead us down a good path. We can't lay everything at the feet of the government to take care of us. Local government, yes. Government closest to its people is the best form of government. When you start expecting state government or even federal government to take care of you, take care of, you being able to purchase your first home or get that good paying job or get a degree, it's the government's responsibility to make sure that I have, grant money to go to college or grant money as the first Black person to own a business. I don't think that should be the expectation of government. as a people, not to make this all about myself, but I do have a PhD. I'm the first in my family to have a doctorate degree, and I worked very hard for my degree. I owned a home for the first time in my late 20s, early 30s. I worked hard to own my home. I applied for my loan. I worked a job as a teacher, was able to afford to pay for my home. I didn't expect the government to give me a handout to do those things that I wanted to do. I did the hard work. I went and pursued my doctorate degree. And I didn't expect the government to take care of me. Now, the student loans, they hit me hard, but I took them out because I decided to pursue higher learning. So it's my responsibility to take care of that student loan debt. So we can't expect the government to be our father or, our mother to be our parent. We as Marylanders or citizens of this great country have to be able to do the things that we're required to do or expected to do to take care of ourselves.
Uncle Sam is not a replacement father.
No, no, he cannot be. And we
They
wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want the government because as quick as the government can give you that check, they can cut off that check.
sure
We can't,
can.
we can't wait in expectation for the government to take care of us.
I got another question for you.
Sure.
Given this Wall Street Journal article's point that black political leadership in major cities like Newark and Chicago and others haven't consistently improved outcomes for the black underclass, how can black voters evaluate candidates like Wes Moore who prioritize broader governance over racial favoritism?
Yes, again, I honestly don't feel that race should take precedence over good government. And when we look at some of our larger cities in this country, be it Los Angeles or Baltimore or Chicago, they're often led by, people who look like us, Black Americans.
Mhm.
But these cities are suffering under
Mhm.
Democrat rule. They've been suffering for years, decades. So that goes to show that we have to focus on, or they should be focusing on, not necessarily race-based policies, but what policies are going to be important to help their progress to a better standard. Because right now, the way these cities are being ran, being ran by Democrats, and I know many smart Black people who look like us. We're two smart people right now conversating, you know.
One
And
and
I
a half.
well, you're smart in your own right. Come on now. Come on, Bernie. And I know many other Black people who are Black politicians, Black educators, Black doctors, whatever the case. But it seems to be that these larger cities in our country that are ran by first Democrats, secondly, Black leaderships who prioritize race over good policy, their cities are failing. And to me,
Yes.
people need to recognize that, see it for what it is, and make a change.
Doctor, can I ask one last question of you?
One last question,
I
surely.
don't want to take up all your time, but after taking office, Governor Moore's 2025 veto of the reparations study, HB 1106, that he promised, sparked controversy, with critics like activist Lisa Tarver arguing that he pretended to care during the campaign but failed to act when given the chance to do something about it. Moore defended his veto by citing existing policies addressing racial disparities, such as wealth building and food insecurity initiatives, suggesting a focus on action over further study. Now, this suggests his campaign rhetoric leaned towards studying reparations, but his governance shifted towards emphasizing alternative equity measures. So, what do you think about that one?
Another another means of fancy footwork in politic and just using words to dance around what it is that what he's trying to do. Now, he's clearly stated that our state doesn't need another reparations task force to study. I think we all can agree. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. We all can agree that what happened to Black people, slavery, the atrocities that happened, with our forefathers way back in our ancestry were horrific. No one is negating that. We recognize that slavery was an injustice to Black people. But I don't think that reparations or a check in the mail is going to be something that's going to cure the ills in our community. Um, I think one of our major thorns in the Black community is the lack of fathers in the home.
Say it
And
again.
the lack of fathers in the home.
One more time.
Lack of fathers in the home.
There you go.
We have young Black men who are serving time for crimes that they've committed. And most often, those young men come from homes with single mothers being the lead. And I don't say this like I'm better than anyone. I came from a home where my mom and my dad were divorced. So my mom raised all five children. And I don't know if I would have turned out to be a better person if my dad remained in the home. No one will ever know. But what I do know is the statistics and the data shows us that that's a bigger problem in the Black community when we have fatherless homes. And a check in the mail or reparations or putting a number on that value and quantifying it, that is not what's going to cure problems in our community.
Lyndon Baines Johnson and the Great Society will never be a good daddy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dr. Cham, you know, I will talk you to death, but
I
the
know
issue,
every time we see each other, we're
yeah,
always
yeah.
talking and loving and hugging on each
Well,
other.
you are a wonderful person, and as I think you're going to
Yeah,
make a wonderful lieutenant governor.
I appreciate it.
So, but the thing here is, I have had you on this thing for a while. I want to give you an opportunity to just freestyle and say whatever is on your mind. So, speak to the people. Say
I
what's up.
Again, Bernie, thank you, my brother. I appreciate this opportunity you giving me your platform to get our message out. John and I, when he chose me as his running mate for lieutenant governor, at first I thought, I don't know. I don't know if I am up for that type of campaign. But, I prayed about it, talked it over with my husband and my daughter, and I thought, if not me, then who? I don't like the way our state is being ran. I don't like the policies that are coming out of Annapolis. And my experience in the legislature when I was a state delegate has trained me very, very well to know how to work hard for constituents, to talk with people, to hear them, to listen to them, to hear their challenges, to hear their frustrations, and hopefully to work hard for them and to win back the governor's house. I'm up for the challenge. I'm equipped for the challenge. I have the skin of an elephant. And I'm ready for the hard work that lies ahead over the next year as we're going to be out across the state campaigning, going from county to county, door to door, festival to festival, parade to parade, talking to people, listening to them, and just getting their input to know. I mean, I've talked to many people thus far. They've shared with me what some of their challenges that they see here in the state of Maryland with taxes increasing, fees increasing, things just from car registration increasing. These things are at the doorsteps of people. These are kitchen table topic conversations that affect their pocketbooks and their wallets. And John and I are going to work closely together. We've had many conversations about what are we going to target first? And what we're hearing most commonly from people is the budget. How can this current administration, Governor Moore and his administration, come in with a 5 billion plus surplus in the budget, and within 2 years it has been depleted, and moving into just halfway during their term, we're now facing a deficit. How does that happen? It happens by overspending. It happens by spending where you don't need to spend. It happens by not cutting where you can consider cutting. And we're going to look at that budget. We're going to go through that budget with a fine-tooth comb and see where can we fix. Clearly, we know that it takes money to run the state of Maryland. but I don't think it takes a cost of increasing our budget, which is, again, people may not know, but the largest budget in Maryland's history.
Yeah.
And it's on the backs of taxpayers. So we're going to work hard to win this election, hear people, gather their insights, get the hard work done that I know that we can do.
Brenda, how can people reach you and John if they need to?
All right, appreciate you for asking. So I'm new to the campaign, just a little, not quite a month. Well, no, we're just kind of in May right now. So I'm going to give you the website, and I'm also going to give you my direct email. The website, you can certainly go to the website and learn more about John and myself, our background. John has a very wealthy background as far as experiences and what he has done in his profession and how he has fought for this country. You can learn about him, learn about myself, and of course, that beautiful, beautiful donate button that we need everyone to click on to donate, to give to the campaign so that we can run this race. So the website is John Myrick for mdgovernor.org. I'm going to spell that out for your listeners and your watchers. JohnMyrick governor.org. My specific email address, if I may, is brenda.cham@johnamyrick for md.gov. Spell it out for you. BRENDA THIAM at John A. Myrick, MYRICK, for MarylandMD.gov. Now, I hope that doesn't confuse anyone, but go to that website. My tab is there. You can reach out to us. You can contact us. You can offer some time to volunteer with us in various parades, door knocking. Although we are a year out from this campaign, the time will go fast. So we're going to be looking for people probably early next year, early spring, to be out, boots on the ground, door knocking, talking to constituents, earning their votes.
Making it work.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, sis, I have kept your time for a long time, but what you said was profound, and people need to know who you and John are, because I really believe that we need you right now.
Absolutely. God help us to win this race, and I know that with his help and with the help of Marylanders to support us, we can be victorious.
You get on out there and represent. I'll be right behind you trying to help where I can.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Berney.
Praying for you. Y'all take care now.
Appreciate it.
All right. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast. If you get the opportunity, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, take care and be safe.